Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's so special edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And as y'all are coming here, I'm going to delay a little bit because some of y'all, there's a few people that kind of run a little bit late from the call. But I want to start off with a quote today, and I'll tell you why in a second. And the quote goes like this. If you knew nothing, everything is possible. If you knew nothing, everything is possible. And our guest today, my best friend, amazing human being, Courtney Akamo, embodies the anything is possible part of that. Not because she doesn't know anything, but because as I've seen her walk her journey and stepping into wisdom and new technology and embracing the transformation that has become so apparent in her life on a continuous basis, she goes back from that point of mastery to beginner mind, to ignite her light, which is the topic of our conversation today. And I'm especially excited about today's call because I know the technology that she's been working with intimately. We've journeyed into a new path that was demonstrated for us that we were both curious about and that Courtney has just ran with, and how she's incorporating into the work she does first and foremost for herself so she can embody and teach from that embodied place, teach from experience, but how she's integrating it with her voice and how she shares with clients as it comes through mantra and singing and devotion to a reverence that's guiding her back to the beginning mind every time. So I'm going to ask Courtney to share about that journey. Um, She's going to guide us into how to strengthen your connection with your Christ consciousness, how to use your voice as an ally for that transformation, how to purify, reclaim, and resurrect your inner light. And again, what it is that's inspiring her and the people who are lighting up in this work that she's bringing across through her becoming it. So it's with that, Courtney. Welcome to today's Beyond the Ordinary show.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for that beautiful introduction. So touching, and I just feel so completely grateful to be here today. Truly, it feels like such a gift. So I'm excited to share with you all and yeah, be here.
We won't guide through that. Let's begin by having you share the type of work that you're bringing through in client session work, or really the alchemy that you bring in and the different containers that you show up in, because you show up in integration circles, you show up on one-on-one clients, you show up in group places, you also show up through play and authentic connection in so many different ways. Um, Share some of the ways that you hold that for people that you're working with.
Well, recently I've been combining the work that I have done for a while, which is somatic, ancestral healing, NLP, voice work, a combination of all of these modalities with these new quantum tools that John and I have been studying with our teachers, Gaetana and Yantel, which is essentially tools and practices passed from the ascended masters. And I feel that I'm being guided to accelerate my own light, my pillarship, my leadership, and bringing these teachings forward that are to support all of us in alchemizing. And it's been just so beautiful and profound working with clients in this technology because I really see the big shifts and openings, and the word that was coming up today was just a sense of deeper belonging to life, and we all belong to life, and I feel that that's been strengthening and people's own identification and understanding and feeling like I am worthy to be here and to shine and to share my gifts.
Share a little bit more about that deeper belonging to life and what's inspiring um, for others in that awareness.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think we'll go deeper into this, but in the inner alchemy work, which is essentially working with your own unconditional love, which your own is the unconditional love of life that is always ever present and pervading. And these different tools and practices are supporting people to cultivate and be in a field of momentum to accelerate their sense of love for their whole self. And there's different tools that I work with within that that's helping people just bring their soul fragments home and to feel the support of the angelics in the ascended realm and to feel held by the earth and the ancestors and all that is here that is benevolent, that truly wants us to live and lead from love.
It's walking that beauty way, really. It's what you're bringing home. And you do
Yeah.
it so wonderfully. Again, you've been such a teacher for me. Um, and as far as expression of my voice and play and
Mm.
song and inviting mantra and temple keeping and tending also. Why do you feel those components are so important to this path that we're walking forward?
I feel that devotion
Mm,
is essential, uh, an inner innocence and reverence and care for life. We're not separate from the earth. We're not separate from anything. So being in an open-hearted devotion, offering, living as an offering is what we're here to do and to serve each other. And there's so many ways we can sing our devotion, we can make physical offerings, we can serve each other, we can yeah, just find the ways that resonate and that light us up to be in service. But I feel that we all are an offering to life and to each other if we
So
choose.
yeah, let's get into the difference of an awareness of where you can witness where people aren't really aware that they can live a life being an offering, that they can be in
Mm,
that where is it, do you see that there's a void in that, just that there
mm,
hasn't been a teaching and awakening that's truly a path to ignite something else? And where do you see the opposite of that, where you're witnessing people and yourself becoming more aware of that, being more in relationship with that reverence and all that's possible when you consciously choose to live a
mhm.
life offering.
Well, I feel a lot of us are struggling or working with our karma, our ancestral binds and ties and patterns through the collective imprinting. So there's doubt, there's fear, there's trauma, there's karma for us to work through, which can put us in more dense fields. That's why it's so important. And I feel like every single person, if they have the tools, they can alchemize, they can purify, they can liberate themselves. And essentially, being an offering is feeling that like you aren't separate and you're in that reciprocity of just being in service to life all the time. And it takes that commitment and devotion to the inner alchemy and purification to just feel the freedom that we are.
Hmm.
I feel
That's
like there was another thread there, but
no, that's beautifully stated. And it's what I've discovered working with you. There's a depth
mm,
that is also available because I'll share in my experience and running the show for 12 years and really being immersed in the awe of all of the amazing facilitation and energies that we can have relationship with. There's been a lot of trying different things on in different ways and a lot of different paths that
mm,
have served to awaken certain aspects of myself that had been dormant for whatever reason, whether fear, enculturation. It just wasn't time. And over the last several months, over the last year, there's been something that's coming into my life and similar as yours, that there's a path that's been presented that is facilitating what's actually inviting a devotion into the path that's facilitating a deeper understanding, a deeper discomfort in different ways, but that discomfort comes and the motivation to experience that discomfort always is coming with a motivation because we can see what's on the other side, that the discomfort isn't for discomfort's sake, that
Mhm.
there's actually an alchemy that's taken place
Yeah, for liberation's sake.
for liberation's sake.
Mhm.
Let's talk about some of the practices that you've been incorporating into your vocal alchemy that you're
Mhm.
including as part of, we'll get into a special offer later, y'all, which is extraordinary. And there's an opportunity to work with Courtney. I have to share this up front in case any one of y'all know that you already want to work with Courtney. The link's going to be put in the chat box. I bet you it's there right now. I'm not even looking. Chris is awesome that way. But if you know that you want to work with Courtney in a container, I think there's 4 spots open. It's very intimate. We'll get into more detail of it. But if you know you want to work with her, sign up now. I mean, don't delay because it's going to be gone really quickly. Um, let's get into, well, let me take that back. You've always worked with decrees. You've worked with mantras. You work with prayers and medicine songs.
Yeah.
There's something deeper that's awakening in that. And I love if you can describe part of that technology that you're mastering in ways that you haven't before.
Mm. The image that comes to mind is verticalizing my energy and
Mhm.
pillar. And with that, I feel like I am learning and honing to truly source from source. And I feel a lot of our patterning, it's like people source from each other, or like we want to get validation, or, of course we can source from the earth, but truly like verticalizing my energy and and crystallizing my connection in communion with source, purifying my channel and my connection with the higher realms and the kingdom that is within me. And I feel like these teachings that we've been practicing and studying, I really just feel the integrity, the potency, the access to really anchor into the core of the kingdom of heaven that we are.
Mm. And I really appreciate that you're talking about verticalizing, again, connecting to source. It's not that other expressions of divinity don't exist. Like the angelic realm and facilitation is there, the galactic assistant and the connection from those places exist. The
Mhm.
places where we're connecting to our departed ones and our ancestors are very much alive and part of the journey. But I love hearing you talking about going direct to source.
Mhm.
What's been your experience in that?
Well, I've always had a deep connection to source, even when was in the forgetting and remembering. And I feel like there's always been this deep thread of unconditional love weaved throughout my life. And I feel right now it's deepening and strengthening. It feels like I'm just getting stronger and more fortified in it, so it's a little bit of a different energetic. It's like I feel like the tool, I'm like getting strengthened in my pillar, in my center, in my core, in my heart, in my crown. And um, yeah, it just feels stronger.
But what's happening as you're centering in that and it's get it stronger? It's
Mm.
I know it's causing an evolution besides just gaining this power.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Naturally, there's more innocence, honor, integrity, joy, freedom, openness, fluidity, flow, presence, ease, um, and knowing I feel like sometimes when I'm in the crunchy humanity parts or my body's hurting, I feel like it's a quicker access to be like, I know this isn't me, and I can hold this and I can love this and I can be with this. And it's a little bit faster than just like going into body pain or whatever it may be. I'm able to really just hold it.
Yeah, and there's a path of surrendering into that wisdom simultaneously, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is wisdom. It's organic, it's intelligent, it's so pure.
And we have to have a relationship with that energy in order to
Hmm.
know that what we're surrendering into, it's not blindly. You've actually been working in attuning to these energies and masters that hold particular frequencies so that you can become more aware of them. You can know them at a depth that you haven't known them before. And then that's activating something beyond what was possible before.
Absolutely. I feel and know that these ascended masters, angelic beings, the ascended masters specifically, they had lifetimes here and they were able to experience liberation and enlightenment. And they each have different qualities, different teachings, different things that they cultivated in their lifetime to experience full liberation and ascension. And we can learn from them. And within that learning, we can also hone and access and remember and actualize those divine qualities within us.
Hmm.
And yeah, they can help us with that.
Oh, tremendously. Can you share with
Mhm.
everybody listening some of the tools and the technologies that you're utilizing in this phase and how not only are you embodying, but you're guiding other people into this technology as well and giving them these practices?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll speak about the one-on-one sessions first because that feels like where I really go deeper with people.
Hmm.
So essentially, they are Christ initiations, and we're working with activating a cosmic ray that is connected with an ascended master and multiple ascended masters, angelic beings, and it's also connected to a chakra, and the quantum tool are called light codes, and they're pretty much like light packages that you can work with in a meditative context throughout the day, to receive attunements and to work with the Great White Brotherhood, with the Ascended Masters, for them to support you on your path. So we have the light codes, different decrees and prayers, working in with the different light rays, and each of the light rays are connected to Christ initiations, and they support you in different ways with connecting with your divine will or your joy, your love, your wisdom, your power. And so that's what I've been doing in the one-on-one sessions. And within that, within every light code, it brings up just naturally something more dense that you're working with. So if it's worth or shame or guilt or fear, I bring in the other practices too that I've studied that are NLP or ancestral healing or parts work, and we work with that energy to support and just bringing more love, attention, and care and liberation, and also the teachings and connection with the ascended masters.
And you bring vocal alchemy to it too, Sarah. There's singing, there's expression, there's play,
Yeah,
this
cathartic release.
cathartic release. Yes, we're
Hmm.
same
Hmm.
page, which is so beautiful. Which it's being in the experience of that and feeling the experience really alchemizing through us that we can really see and feel and have appreciation both for where we came from and the other side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I know your community here, like so many of these beings, you have been walking the journey of love and of liberation. And it's not like an instant thing. We are on it. It's a spiral path. And these tools have been helpful deeply for both me and John and I to really feel a true deeper sense of liberation. And we're on it. We're walking that path together.
Yeah, and again, it's awe-inspiring and it's challenging, y'all. It's challenging and it's
Hmm.
heart-wrenching at times. At the same time, you can breathe into the freedom that's being instilled by walking through that journey, which is again, it's been it's been enormously transformative um, and humbling at the same time. But there's something to be said about following a path. Again, we've been popcorning for a long time in different ways, and it's been fun, and it has helped
Mm.
me so much through my evolution, um, and transformation and personal growth and navigating through codependency and fear and not enoughness and who do you think you are and you can't
Mm.
be God, but no, you are God, and all of these different things that come up naturally within all of us into a relaxing into and claiming the light that I truly am, the light that you truly are, and seeing and holding ourselves and another um, in that divine truth. Now, what you are bringing in also, there's a few things that you're offering here. You talk about decrees and mantras. What's
Yeah.
the difference between a decree and a mantra? And I think we're going to get into an example. Y'all are going to get to experience, I think, a decree later, or is it a mantra that we're doing later?
A decree.
A
Yeah.
decree. We're getting into the decree later. Um, but I'd love it if you talk a little bit more into both and how they help as part of the
Hmm.
transformation.
Yeah, I have such a reverence for mantras. I've been working with them for a long time in my journey. And with mantras, depending on what the mantra is, they do different things for us. So it could be a mantra that's specifically for purifying mind, body, and speech, specifically just for the mind. It could be to invoke a specific deity to bring that energy and that light quotient into your life. It could be for a variety of different things. So mantras are really powerful, and I feel like they open up energetics in our consciousness to purify, to bring in some divine qualities and energy. So they're really powerful for us to be working with.
Mm,
And with decrees, it's more of a commanding energy or an invocation. So there's a little bit more of just that claiming energy. And so you're working with God's source energy to claim, to decree, to command something.
yeah, and in the decree, you're really aligning with the masters that are aligned with that decree. You're really
Hmm.
rising in frequency and attuning to the masters that have walked that path of attainment. You're
Yeah.
not going in blindly. It's really it's a coherent field that you're alchemizing and vocalizing into your
Hmm.
environment.
Hmm.
Can we
Hmm.
do both a decree and a
Completely.
mantra today?
Sure.
Awesome. Yes, that'll be so much fun. And the way that Courtney brings it through, it's just it's so heart expansive. Everybody that listens to one of Courtney's decrees as she's speaking it, they just walk away. It's like I just felt like I was touched by an angel and I'll never be the same.
Mhm.
So y'all gonna want to hang out for that for sure. Um,
And I also want to say there's also affirmation and prayers.
mm.
So it's decrees, it's mantras, it's affirmation, it's prayers, and cultivating your devotion and dedication to your light and liberation. So we're working with all of those tools and the light codes in the sessions.
How's this different than going to church and praying or sitting in meditation and going through trying to be still and trying to call to do a call out to a mantra, but being in your head? How is it that you're
Mm.
sharing it that's different than what people might expect or have perceived before?
Mm. Well, with mantras, if you do them enough, it naturally helps you access stillness. So that's a gift of mantras. And when you're aware also of the qualities that you're invoking, and you can really connect with that, or the ascended master or angel that you're invoking or praying to, the deity. I think that if you're just aware of that, you can really bring more of that energy in. How it's different than church, I'm not sure.
Well,
I
it's
mean, we're like we are the temple. So you're
thank
it's
you.
not an external thing. It's like you're working with your own inner temple, your own church, and really accessing the kingdom within yourself.
I love that you say that because for me, that brings back that we are the technology. It's not about reaching outward in the hopes that something is going to save us from ourselves.
Mm.
But it's about realizing that as we align to that benevolence, for this case, we'll call it to that technology, and we call it in, we invoke it, we start feeling that we're a part of it and it's a part of us, then something different starts to be awakened within. Uh,
Mhm.
the patterns of and the thoughts of victimization um, get released, and we become aware of the cycling energy that we're creating from and that the world is mirroring back to us as our creation.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
something that you do so beautifully also is that as you invoke the spaces, and it's just because of who you are and because of how long you've been doing it, and
Mm.
you're wired in a particular way. But y'all, when you experience, and you'll witness here on the call if you haven't already, as we get into the decrees and the mantras, and you're certainly going to experience it if you go into the special offer with her, is that you set temple space energetically. It is reverent, clean, aligned space for the highest possible outcome. You do it so naturally, but how is it that you teach people to start creating that for themselves?
Well, if people don't already have an altar that they're working with, I encourage that to create an altar that has the elements on it, or a photo of a divine being that they can be working with. So creating a sacred space where you feel supported by the elementals and you can connect with the divine as an external thing, it could really support that internal. So I always encourage people to create an altar, and then also knowing that we are the temple. We always have access to the altar of our heart. This is a place for us to pray, to devote, to ask questions, to contemplate, to make offerings, to go in. And with the practices that I take people through or that I share, it gives them different access points to go into their temple to connect and to commune with Creator, with Source.
Part of what I'm witnessing you as a space holder and then what's evolving where for a while there I saw you really taking people through a cathartic experience and journeying with them and holding them up and guiding them through and really supporting them in it. And over the last 6 months, I've seen how you've stepped back from feeling like you need to hold them and how you're honoring everybody in their own
Mm,
process through that and being an example of what can be held and holding that pillar strongly, but not having like not feeling like you have to carry their weight in order for them to accomplish something or get somewhere.
yeah.
You're really seeing people in the mastery that they carry, and yes, you're providing an energetic space, but the empowerment that comes through when someone navigates that on their own compared to us facilitating something, it's life-changing in so many different levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a vulnerable share, but in my own process with our mentor, I had a really deep process and pattern that I realized. What was the story? It's like if you're suffering, I'm gonna suffer with you. Like I would really go there with people, and I'm such an empath, and I'd be able to get in there and support the energy to liberate. And a big realization that I had is like it's not supportive for us to fully meet people in the density where they are. It's supportive to hold a strong space of love and possibility for liberation and to still guide and facilitate and hold space. But there's a different energetic than just going into the depths with people and alchemizing with them than like really holding the strong pillar. And I think it is a little there's some different energetics and subtleties within that. And I feel like sharing that because I know a lot of the empaths on the
Mm.
path. It's like it's so easy to be like, I feel that with you. And I do naturally, but there's just a different energetic to be like, I feel that, and this is what's possible. Like holding that liberated and different frequencies in the field.
Right. Right. And it's wonderful because what we lean into as we're guiding other people through this, and again, I'm witnessing you doing it more and more so beautifully, is that there's been a path that's been blazed for us. And again, the ascended
Mm,
masters, the Great White Brotherhood, these ascended beings, the angelics, whoever it may be that whose path we're following have trailblazed that for us. We're aware of who it is that has guided that facilitation, what we're attuning to, and we can surrender into, and we can awaken and ignite the mastery within ourselves to be able to hold that place. So again, there's a surrender, but there's also an awareness that I've witnessed in you. It's like, no, I know how we're getting there and where we're going, and holding the constitution of that confidence. 'Cause
mhm.
you know what's on the other side while someone else is navigating. But again, you're there as the light bearer. You're not
Yeah.
there as the cane. You're not there as the walker. You're not there as the wheelchair for someone else. You're the light bearer, and they're walking their path. And when we allow someone else to walk their own path, there's a discovery within themselves that even surprises us because in their
Yeah.
becoming, their unique expression, which is so different from ours, activates. And we, as light bearers on that path, get to learn from that as well. So it becomes a co-creation.
Mm. Yeah. So true. So true. Just feeling the blessing that it is to really honor everyone's path, even our family. There's different opportunities for
Mm,
us to not take on caretaking roles, but truly be in our light, our power, our sovereignty, and our blessing. And knowing, they're on their path and we can support and shine light and share.
mhm,
But like someone in the comments said, it just takes discernment of like what feels really true and honoring of the truth and the light. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, Donna wrote about the sermons. I love it. I want to get into your special offer and go through it in more detail because there's some activations that are going to take place that even as we describe it. But
Mm.
before we do that, um, I'm feeling into which one wants to come through first, and I guess I should ask you, should we start with a mantra or a decree or an invocation even?
Let's do a decree. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like there's one that wants to be shared.
So y'all get into a comfortable position, and I would invite you and Courtney, please set the field, but
Yeah.
open your heart, like bring your mind into your heart. This is such a beautiful place and container that Courtney is bringing us into. Um,
Mm.
that my wish for you is that you're open and willing to receive this gift that is coming through.
Mhm. Yeah, just inviting all of you to take some deep breaths. Maybe you want to do an audible exhalation. Just close your eyes if that feels good. And start to connect into your pillar of light, feeling yourself rooted and connected to the earth. in your spine, maybe elongated, in connection with your higher self, with source. Just breathing in and feeling yourself as this channel for heaven and earth. And I will say this decree in AI context, but just inviting you to imagine, to feel the energy and imagine that you are saying it as well and invoking these qualities. I am light, glowing light, radiating light, intensified light. God consumes my darkness, transmuting it into light. This day, I am a focus of the central sun. Flowing through me is a crystal river, a living fountain of light that can never be qualified by human thought or feeling. I am an outpost of the divine. Such darkness as has used me is swallowed up by the mighty river of light, which I am. I am, I am, I am light. I live in light. I am light's fullest dimension. I am light's purest intention. I am light, 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 flooding the world everywhere I move, blessing, strengthening, and conveying the purpose of the kingdom of heaven. I am light, glowing light, radiating light, intensified light. God consumes my darkness, transmuting it into light. This day I am a focus of the central sun. Flowing through me is a crystal river, a living fountain of light that can never be qualified by human thought or feeling. I am an outpost of the divine. All darkness that has used me is swallowed up by the mighty river of light, which I am. I am, I am, I am light. I live in light. I am light's fullest dimension. I am light's purest intention. I am light, 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 flooding the world everywhere I move, blessing, strengthening, and conveying the purpose of the kingdom of heaven. I am light, glowing light, radiating light, intensified light. God consumes my darkness, transmuting it into light. This day I am a focus of the central sun. Flowing through me is a crystal river, a living fountain of light that can never be qualified by human thought or feeling. I am an outpost of the divine. Such darkness as has used me is swallowed up by the mighty river of light, which I am. I am, I am, I am light. I live in light. I am light's fullest dimension. I am light's purest intention. I am light, 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 flooding the world everywhere I move, blessing, strengthening, and conveying the purpose of the kingdom of heaven. Just breathing this light into your body, into your core, into your channel, into your mind. Letting the sacred river of light, of life, just nourish your cells, amplify your essence, attune you to your love. So it is.
So it is. Thank you for sharing that. Melinda wrote earlier, wow, Courtney, I can feel the strength and light emanating from you, like transforming from this gracious, loving, compassionate earth goddess into a fierce, powerful, sovereign, cosmic goddess. I I second that,
Thank
Melinda,
you.
and then raise you 1,000. Um, why 3 times with that decree?
Power of three, sacred Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit,
Mhm.
like masculine, feminine child, there is a power to three that I feel really anchors, amplifies, and accelerates the energy. Like one, you're just kind of getting it, and it's like three, it's almost like the ship has landed a little bit more.
Mhm.
You're like, okay,
And for me also,
feel
there's
this.
an activation of the threefold flame in relationship to that as well. And I'd love it if you can describe a little bit about the threefold flame and how that gets illuminated even more within our being as we go deeper into not just these practices and these technology, but the liberation that you share from these other practices that you bring also to allow us to create art out of our becoming, whether it be through song,
Mm-hmm.
poetry, through love, through cooking, through other expressions that are so organic and natural to us.
Yeah, well, I love to talk about the threefold flame because this is something that I learned this year that has been really powerful for me. And it's depicted in a lot of pictures of ascended masters where they have this flame in their heart that is yellow and pink and blue. And this is a flame that can be activated and amplified, and that when we work with it we can really expand our light, our power, wisdom, and love, and amplify all of those qualities. So it's deep within the chamber of our hearts, and like I said, it's blue, it's yellow, and pink, and each of the colors are connected with different things. So the blue is connected to power and the Elohim. The yellow is connected with wisdom and the ascended masters, and the pink is connected with divine love and the angels and the archangels. So there's different practices and prayers that I work with and have been teaching to amplify the threefold flame. And it's just it's so powerful. And with also the practices, I feel, in general, and in this path that we're walking, we're always balancing and learning to balance our power, wisdom, and love, and seeing where that's maybe out of balance, or where we need a little bit more wisdom or connection with our love. And working with a threefold flame, it could be a place that you return to that helps you center, that connects you with all of these realms and with those qualities.
Yeah, it's so important to share. I know that when we began working with our mentors in these practices and on this path, they was described to me as like most people's threefold flame. It's like a flicker. If anything, most people walk around with that flicker, not even being aware. And through practices very quickly, in my awareness, it didn't take long as I became aware of it. And it felt more than a flicker to become into this place of expansion that was taking up my full solar plexus to very quickly getting into a place where it felt like it was just my auric field that was part of what was being activated and that I was navigating with the threefold flame. But there were times where it would become contracted and I'd get into a practice and a mantra and a decree and into different practices to reactivate it. And so there's like this thing that we're learning on how to navigate with these waters of that flame, if you will, to get it to a place where it stabilizes into a transmitter for divine sacred technology to flow through us for our benefit, but in that we can't help but to become teachers for others as we share from that ignited, illuminated space.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that becomes part of what we receive, we can't help but to share with others, which is so beautiful about the way that you're incorporating that particular work with your other practices. Because it doesn't have to be all serious and hard work. It's like it can be fun, it can be joyful, it can be creative in the process. And it doesn't have to be a solo journey either. We can invite others into the play with us.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that you're speaking to play because
Mhm.
I personally feel like that's one of my missions, is to help
Yeah, it
people
is.
access and connect with their innocence and play. And in the course specifically, we'll have different opportunities to really work with the field of play. And I've worked with that a lot in the vocal work that I've done, because early on in opening my voice, I realized that I had this gift of channeling and freestyling. And one of the ways that I was able to really access that was through play. And this reality is all like God's playing. We're all creator beings. So tapping into that frequency of creation, of play, is a really beautiful access point to divinity and to our like original essence.
Hmm. I love what's awakening in it. I love that you guide your sessions in this workshop will be driven by play as well. But play doesn't mean that we don't get to play in the shadows and in the lights. But you have this way of alchemizing it where it's just becomes such a heart opening divine experience no matter where it's navigated that I see people walking away after working with you just like I don't believe that was possible that I experienced all that in the way that I did. So let's get into how you're working with people in the special offer because y'all there's two special offers. One's a 4 week course, another one is 4 weeks of working one-on-one with Courtney. So it's not a one-on-one session, just one off. It's going in deep into the technology. And then I really want to invite you into clicking on the link that's in the chat box so that you can follow along because there's transmission even in the explanation of what's in the course as well. But again, to invite you to connect in this way with either one of these expressions that Courtney is going to be guiding you through. It's quite special. So again, click on the link in the chat box or open up a new browser if you don't see the link for whatever reason and type in beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Courtney 33. And it'll take you to that same page that's in the link. And Courtney, why don't you guide us through? Let's go through package A first, which is the 4 week course,
Okay, yes.
which is the Ignite Your Technology live 4 week course. And again, it's live.
Okay. And I can pull it up and go through it like that.
I can share my screen. How about that?
Okay.
Here we go.
Awesome. So I felt really called to create this course in combining the voice work that I love and adore, mantras, medicine music, with all of these new teachings that I've been receiving with different mantras and decrees and prayers and invocations. So this will be a really incredible union of receiving energy work and rituals, getting access to these different mantras, decrees. I'll also be teaching really sweet, precious medicine songs that I've gathered from around the world, and we'll be doing different attunements and energetic activations as well. So I'm really excited for this course. And like I said here, well, you moved it, so never mind.
Oh, let me go to it. Yes. Tell
I'm
me
just
when to
going to
move. Yes.
say, discover your voice as a conduit for invocation, creation, purification, and liberated expression. And there is an emphasis in the course on purifying your channel overall. So we're going to be doing different rituals to purify the energy body. We're going to be working with cathartic release in the voice to really open and clear the voice, and to support you in verticalizing your energy like I spoke to before, so you can really channel and connect with your own source, higher self energy, and bring that energy in through your voice and through creating your reality.
Great. So live event details. We begin October 7th, then the 14th to 21st and November 4th, starting at 4 p.m. Pacific. Wait, you're going to include, 4 weeks of live sessions. Is a music playlist? I love that you've included that. I didn't know that.
Of course, I got playlists on playlists. It's
Awesome.
like one of my favorite things. So you'll get different mantra playlists, and I'll have different, practices that I invite you to do that are kind of more movement based, and then working with the voice. So there'll be different playlists for that. And then I'll have the PDFs with some of the decrees and practices and invocations that you'll get that you can
Like the
print
decree
out.
that you shared earlier, and perhaps the mantra will get a PDF of that as well. So
Yeah.
so let's go through the different weeks. So week one, clearing your channel and activating your light.
Yeah. So in this initial week, there'll be more focus on clearing the voice channel and the energy body. So we'll be doing more of a cathartic release practice and working with connecting to that Christ consciousness. And I felt in this initial one, Archangel Michael wanted to come in. So I'll teach a little bit and share an invocation and a prayer to work with him. And I'm also really intuitive, so I, like, based on the collective field, I'll be working with this and then maybe some other practices that I feel like the collective needs.
Right. So yeah, you're really good about sensing what's coming up and not being so caught up in the dogma of what you think needs to come through, but really being in the moment for because we're all expanding, we're all growing in different ways, and to try to teach from the past to try to meet everybody where they are now doesn't work. So you're so wonderful at attuning, adjusting, and providing that next spark that's available for the collective there. Um, awesome. So that's week one. Then we get into week two, devotion. I love week two, and please speak more into it.
Yeah, devotion. This week is about opening our hearts to life, to ourselves, to God, and to receiving and being in tools that can really support you and having more devotion in your daily life.
Mm.
And, you know, just tools and practices that even when you're doing the dishes, you can be singing. And anyway, I have lots to share on this week, and I'll be teaching different mantras and songs and a little bit more teachings and prayers about the threefold flame and how to amplify that in your life.
Well, there's an expansion of consciousness as to the why of devotion, why we would choose devotion rather than just what we're going to receive from devotion. We're really igniting a field that is bigger than us, but has to include us simultaneously. And the way that you're invoking devotion through this is really, again, like you have here, it's the power of the threefold flame, where it's not just sovereign into itself, it's sovereign and has the ability to be so because of the support of all the components working together.
Yes, so eloquently said.
Mm. I have my
Absolutely.
moments, yes. But again, this
Beautiful.
week of devotion is just it speaks to my heart, and y'all, it's powerful. And again, this devotion for me, it opens up the power of surrender. And
Yes.
when you start getting into that, you start creating something completely new that is just it's
Yeah.
beyond words. And I can't wait for y'all to experience that week and your practice in it.
And the power of momentum as well, when you
Yeah.
get into more dedicated devotion and bring that more into your life, you will feel more supported. You will feel your light and your love and more synchronicities and miracles. So there's so much power in being in devotion, and for that, and for the purity and the humility of what that does for our humanity, to be in the humility of
Mhm.
devoting and communing with all that is beyond and within us.
Well, and I don't want to get into the course necessarily, but I have to share this also because what also happens as we invoke this and we're in resonance with the highest expression of devotion, we quickly find out the shadow that we've been devoted to as well, and interpret new understanding of what we're choosing to be devoted to and why, and alchemizing that and generating a new possibility that allows the egoic aspect or that which was unclear to get into higher states of possibilities within our lives. So it's huge. That week for me is just, it's huge. I'm so glad that you're bringing that in as part of the alchemy of this course.
Yeah.
Week three, purification. Oh, Mother Mary. This is
Yeah, I'm really excited for this week. It's going to be really potent. We'll be doing a ritual, a water ceremony essentially in working with forgiveness and just going in really deep with that. And there's a really incredible Mother Mary activation that I'm going to share in this one that's activating these different divine qualities in your life and in the crown. And that'll be part of the ceremony at the end. And I'll also share some beautiful medicine songs. So I'm really excited for this week. It feels just very deep and pure and powerful.
And
Yeah.
your medicine songs, the way you bring them through, and they're not all original to you, but the way that you bring them in are really an invitation to sing them as a walking ritual. They are the creeds, they are mantras, they're ignitions in the heart, but the way that it comes through, and then our ability to be able to hold it in mind and body because of the song, it's so potent.
Absolutely. And I didn't write that as much here, but I'm sure on every call I'll be sharing at least one or two or three medicine songs because that feels like something I really want people to be in connection with in their life is like have these little pocket songs that they can walk with, that they can share in their life, that they can work with to support the opening of their heart or calling in or reclaiming of something, whatever it may be. I have so many, so I'm excited to share those.
You do, and you might bring in shakers and drums and other instruments and all that. So
Of
y'all,
course.
y'all are gonna have so much fun, but also experience a lot of transformation also. And then week four, love truth.
Yeah, so in this week, we will be doing a guided journey into the Temple of Resurrection and really feeling your pillar of light and strengthening that. And I feel like there's just some, I've learned on my own journey that creativity is such a profound alchemizer. So we'll be doing a practice with just a theme that is up in your life and working with that creatively through poetry or songwriting and just vocal expression to see what wants to come through to anchor a particular energetic. And that'll be a really powerful ceremony at the beginning.
Amazing. So y'all, 4 live weeks. I'm sure you'll open up to Q&A and to some sharing.
I will, yeah.
At some point, everything will be recorded, y'all, and so there'll be replays that you'll be able to come back into. You'll receive the PDFs as well, and the practices that I want to encourage you to keep working with because they build upon themselves, and you're able to sustain a particular frequency as your devotion gets activated with the transmission that you are speaking into your reality. So it's powerful. It's y'all can read into what you'll receive from the course. Courtney's gone through it. It's amazing. Package A is $147. Y'all, if whoever gets an opportunity to do package B gets package A, so you get the 4 week live course. And this is really special. And I had to encourage Courtney to offer this. Y'all are welcome. Whoever gets to do it, you're welcome. I'll take a lot of credit for it. Um, this is epic. Courtney, where do people go in to receive in their divine describe what's included in the package of divine alchemy sessions?
Yeah, so I spoke to it earlier to speak to it again. So these are going to be Christ initiations. So we'll be accelerating and awakening your Christ consciousness, and we will be working with the quantum tools, which are the light codes, which are energy packages essentially from the Great White Brotherhood. And you'll be being initiated in the light rays, a particular ray, which is a facet of the Christ consciousness. And I'll take you into a temple and a ceremony with that. And it's super deep and profound, and you will get tools to take home with you. You will feel a deeper connection with that particular master and those angels that are part of that ray to support you on your journey. And then in each session, there's space for inner alchemy for you to be with whatever wants to be alchemized and transmuted and transformed, and I support you and guide you with that. So it's a really incredible combination of deep inner alchemy with the power of these light tools and initiations with Christ consciousness.
Mhm. And I have to share, y'all, to be in a position to be able to share these practices and teach really require a level of attainment and embodiment. It's not something that you read off a book and you pull up a book that has a mantra to create and you kind of recite it. It's intentional, it is devotional, it is very direct and igniting um, the light within you, and it's aware of its precision and how it affects you in that light amplification. So these are powerful sessions. It is Courtney is basically giving them away. Um, Truly, I mean, I know there's an energy exchange, um, but this is powerful in these sessions. You're going to get 4 sessions for $444, and they're 4 90-minute sessions. You're also going to get the 4 weeks of the course on top of it for the 4 people who get to sign up for these individual sessions. Courtney, we fill up really quickly. Are you open to offering the possibility of another round after this first month
Yeah,
stops? So
yeah.
maybe we can get into offering 6 or 8, knowing that whoever gets the back end for is going to have to wait 30 to 40 days before they start.
Yeah, to like end of November, December, mid November. Yeah.
Okay. Y'all sign up and we'll let you know whether you're in group 1 or group 2, and we'll coordinate that for y'all. But it's thank you for doing that because I have a feeling that the 4 may already
Yeah.
been filled up.
Yeah.
And this is such, I have to share from my personal experience how impactful these transmissions and following this path and choosing um, to be in intimacy with it has been for me. I can share how I've seen Courtney activate and lead and again run with this in a way that's helping so many people that she is interacting with and introducing in several ways to this technology. And it's why I wanted to be sure that Courtney came on the show before we ended the season, before I head off to Egypt. Um, that my wish for you is that this light, that you remember the light within yourself, and not only remember it, but that you ignite it and walk the path of your divine light. It's absolutely beautiful. Courtney, thank you for putting this together. And I know you're about to share something, so please go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to share that with the both courses, essentially in activating your Christ consciousness, you're deepening your connection with your higher self. So you're going to be in more connection with your intuition, with your clarity, with your access to divine information or downloads. So yeah, I just wanted to speak to that higher self piece, that it's part of activating that connection and strengthening that.
What do you feel this is doing for your inner child work as well, and how that's helping clients, or what are you seeing shifting in that?
Oh, well, I feel like I'm always working with the inner child, and I feel like that comes up a lot in sessions. So the inner child gets to feel loved and to have a voice and to lead the way. I feel like for a lot of us, there's always parts of the inner child that aren't getting met in some way. They want more play, or they want to sing more, or they need,
Right.
they need more of your attention. So that usually comes up in sessions where there's some inner child aspect that's like feels worthless or disconnected. So we get to bring those parts into the forefront and to care for them and see what they need. And within that, it's like within the fragmentation of the inner child parts, or when we have trauma, like different parts of our energy going out. With the soul recovery work, it's like we can be more embodied in our body, in our soul, in our power. More of that energy comes back and forward for us to live with and to
Mhm.
emanate. So I love and appreciate so deeply the inner child work, or the parts work. It's been so impactful for my journey.
Mhm. Don't you find that the inner child for you also is in some ways relieved that there's a path? There's like, oh, you're taking me down a path that I can see the next steps instead of trying to figure out at every turn.
Yeah, yeah, especially this path that we've been walking. It feels true, it feels clear. There's so much integrity and in beauty. So it feels easy. There's like a naturalness of like, yes, finally,
Mhm.
something that feels really clear. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a mantra that was invited in through the mentors that have been sharing this, and it's so resonant for me as well. And I know you carry it,
Mm,
and the integrity in which you live your life and express that with others. And that call is truth above all else,
yes.
right? And it's the truth that does set us free. It's integrating the truth, not trying to bend the truth so that we can feel comfortable, but really realizing the liberation that's available, and then the freedom of creation on the other side when we can be in stillness with the truth and allow it to guide us to places that we haven't explored yet.
Yeah. Truth is the answer in the way and always guiding us.
Beautiful.
It reminds me of I had this prayer energy come through when I was on Aya and ayahuasca, and I just want to share it here. But yeah, it was like a full transmission. But I bow, I listen,
Mm.
I know, I create, I choose. I bow, I listen, I know, I create, I choose. I know my knowing.
Mm.
I know my path. I know my path is here. I know my path is here. I know my knowing is always flowing, connected to the truth. That was the quote I was wanting to get to. Um, so I just wanted to speak to that. I know my knowing is always flowing, connected to the truth, that we always have access to our innate, primal, true knowing. It is here, and it just takes us having silence, like you said, to attuning to the truth. Sometimes our yes or our no's can be really subtle, but our knowing is always clear. It's always there. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, I kind of messed up saying that, but
No, I love that you brought it in and it's activating something with him. And it also takes me to the Creed of the Great White Brotherhood. Do you remember what it is?
to know, to
Mhm.
dare, to do, and to be silent.
So powerful.
Yeah, yeah, so deep.
So powerful. To know, to dare, to do, and to be silent. What does that mean to you? And I'll read what Andrea wrote and all that, but I'd love it if you can explain um, the four callings from the Great White Brotherhood. So first to know.
The word that's coming to mind is knowledge, and I feel the inner library of knowledge that we are, that we have
Mhm.
access to infinite consciousness, to knowledge, to wisdom, to knowing that is always prevailing and present, that
Knowing
is
from that higher octave, right? that
Yeah.
connection with the divine.
Yeah, not egoic. It's not like an
No,
egoic mental knowing, but it's a knowing on a somatic, soul, deep, primal, true
it's
level.
also
That's
knowing who you,
beyond.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's also knowing who you walk with, right?
Yes. Yes.
And when you know that, it's like to know, to dare.
To dare this path is courageous. We have to dare to alchemize our shadows. We have to dare to make new choices. We have to dare and be courageous to show up beyond our comfort zone and continue doing that for our whole life. We have so much courage that gets to be worked
So
and
to do,
utilized.
what does to do mean in this occasion?
I would say take action on behalf of love truth.
Yes. And then to be silent.
I feel like to be silent is just to know when to speak, to know
Like,
when to share, to discern with who and when. There's a discernment with in being silent, and of course, to cultivate an inner stillness and silence.
for me also, it's the humility that comes from knowing that you're in your mastery. The humility in that silence. It's like I've created this thing and I'm screaming from the mountains because I know something that everybody else you put into action. And when you put into action, you can sit in the silence, trusting, knowing, being in surrender that it's been received. And in the silence, you'll be aware when the next knowing, daring, and doing get
Right.
called again, right?
Yes. To
Mm,
know, to dare, to do, and to be silent. My knowing is always flowing, connected to the truth.
beautiful. I love that you brought that in and that we got to share that because that in itself, y'all, is a transmission. Um,
Yeah.
we're still going to get into the mantra. I want to get there. Andrea has signed up for package A and B, so Andrea's in. I think three or four.
Value, Andrea.
I think the 4 months are already, or the four first ones, maybe three are already sold. So y'all, there's one left for the first round, and another four that we're opening into the continuation of that. I highly encourage this work, y'all. I just and Courtney guiding it. It's like it's her generosity is second to none. So you're in beautiful hands. I want to get into the mantra here in a second. Linda had her hand up for a while. So Linda, why don't you unmute yourself and what's the question that you're bringing forward for Courtney?
This has been wonderful, by the way. I've
Mhm.
really enjoyed it very much. Very peaceful. I really like the peacefulness of it. Um, in your connections with the angels and the guides, are you also able to lead each one of us to our own angels and guides?
I absolutely can. That will be part of the work. We're going to be working with particular ascended masters, but depending on the course is kind of in its own. But if we were to do one-on-one sessions, absolutely. But even in the course, you will be purifying. You'll be creating more access points for higher dimensional communication. So that will happen, I feel like, naturally, and then you can have some practices, can offer some practices to do in your own space where you can cultivate that connection with your angels, maybe hear their name or even see what they want to offer you and bless you. So they're in the water ceremony or ceremonies that we do in the course. I feel like there will be opportunities for that higher dimensional communion and to receive support from your angels. So
Then do
I
you
hope
give a
that's clear.
decree to each one of us specifically?
We will have decrees that are from the ascended masters and or from particular angels, or like Mother Mary. There's different affirmations to her, so we'll be working in different ways with their energies and bringing them in, but specifically for you guys and having like your own individual mantra, not so much, but there is a prayer that's super activating and purifying for the threefold flame in the heart that I'll be sharing. And then organically in the course, I'm a song channel, and I will invite words, and it could happen naturally where I invite the collected field, or you come forward and you're like, I really want a little mantra song. And that's one of my favorite things to do, is like create mantras for people, just like channel them. So yeah,
Thank
if
you.
you bring that forward, I'm happy to do that with you.
Thank you very much, honey.
Yeah, you're
You're
welcome.
wonderful. And John,
Thank
thank you for
you.
calling on me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you,
What's
Linda.
what's also beautiful in these experiences is that you might be introduced to ascended masters that maybe you weren't familiar with, or maybe not familiar with their invoking and awakening and how they're serving you, how they're qualifying energy awakening within you. So yes, you'll tap into their crisis consciousness. Yeah, you're aware of a Mother Mary. Archangel Michael may come in, but Maitreya and Katumi, Lord Lantos, so many other beings that are really here, that are the path of not just the awakening for us individually, but it's the path that's here for the awakening of the collective. And this time that we're in now, and how we're being called into the divinity of our light during this time specifically, because of the cycles that we have been through, and how now is a time to amplify through the support of all this mastery that has preceded us into a new awareness of a mastery that gets to be birthed because we are igniting it forward. And so it's powerful, powerful work. It's for our own liberation, but in that you can't help but to be of service to the collective awakening. It's it just happens. Um, Powerful what comes through. It's as y'all can tell, I'm excited about this. It's so amazing. Y'all, the link for the special offers in the chat box. Of course, we're going to be running the replay. We'll send out the link for the replay later. We're not done. Courtney, how can we navigate into the mantra that you want to share?
Well, I have a couple ideas. Do you feel, I'll ask you, do you feel that people would want to learn and sing a song with me?
Linda's shaking her head. Yes.
Yes.
Linda's the proxy.
Okay, so depending on how long that goes, I can maybe do the mantra after, but it's kind of like a mantra song. So I learned this from a dear medicine brother in Costa Rica. His name's Kevin. It's very simple. And the lyrics are, I am, I am, I am, I am, a child of God, of God, of God. And I will sing that first. And I'm just going to sing it all the way through, and then since it's pretty simple, you could catch on. So, take a deep breath in. Audible exhale. Another one of those, grounding your field. Connecting with your innocence, your Christ consciousness, your love for yourself, for life, for your relations. And you can start to sing this with me whenever it feels good for you. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am a child of God, 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 of God. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I a child of God, 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 of God. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am a child, a child of God, 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 of God. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am a child, a child of God, 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 of God. Couple more. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am a child. Start again. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am a child of God, 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 of God. Last one. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am a child, a child of God, 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 of God.
Beautiful. If y'all were singing, feel your heart right now and see if you feel more space and openness. And as an awareness practice, and Courtney, it's like she gets into your mind and body. And don't be surprised if you're singing this in the shower when you're walking around the house. It's an invocation and a mantra that keeps on giving, and you'll hear her in your mind and heart over and over again. And that's part of the beauty of what Courtney invokes in these transmissions, her voice and the alchemy. Uh, that's so beautiful. Um, Thank you for inspiring that, Linda. Thank you, Courtney, for bringing
Yes,
it in.
of
And
course.
Donna says, "Wow!" And can we get Barbara to ask a question?
Barbara.
Barbara wants to say hi to you. Yes.
Hi.
Hi,
Once
Barbara.
again, I come thinking I'm not buying anything. I'm just going to listen. And what do? I go sign up again. But
Epic.
what came to me was, I mean, and I didn't just decide. I felt the calling and then I muscle tested because I ask, I hear the answer yes, and I'm thinking, are you sure? So then I muscle test and I got two yeses.
Mm,
But I was thinking the benefit to me is going to be um along, like I'm so building the business right now that I need almost like a program to help me go deeper with my own spirituality again. And that word devotion has come up like three times lately for me, and I think it will help me in my daily spiritual practice, like to go deeper, but to have someone leading me along. So I appreciate that, and I did sign up. But do you have dates for that second part yet? Because I saw the
Oh,
dates
when are
for
you
the
starting the
first one.
sessions? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm starting the sessions I think as soon as next week. So if you purchase the package B, then you'll get a link to my calendar. So then you could just sign up with me, and I have spaces available in my calendar for you to just book directly.
Oh, what do you mean? Like, isn't the second part
The
a
second
group
part,
thing?
well, the package A is it's on Mondays for
Yeah.
5 weeks. So that's the group thing, and then package B is one-on-one sessions with me.
Oh my
Or one-on-one
God. Are you
sessions.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Nope.
Holy cow, am I ever glad I signed up? Oh my God. Okay. I was happy. Now I'm like over the moon
Yeah.
happy.
Stoked.
Yeah, Barbara, I'm glad you
Awesome.
Okay.
brought that in because I want to be very clear. Y'all are getting one-on-one session for
Yeah.
90 minutes
Yeah. Holy
for
smokes.
if you include package A, you're getting one-on-one sessions for about $65 a session or 70
Yeah.
you round it
Wow.
out. It's
Okay. So
crazy, amazing. Yeah.
say that again. So we'll get an email and we'll get your calendar and we can book them. Oh my
Yes.
God. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yay, I'm
I
so
want that email right
excited.
now. I want to be the first to get
I
in.
know. Look for it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
so
you.
excited.
Yeah. Thanks.
Amazing, Barbara.
Barbara, thanks for coming in. Y'all feel this? Come back and listen to the replay. If y'all didn't sing, come back and listen to the replay and sing, 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 sing. And come back to the decree as well and go through the practice of the decree, receiving and then maybe reciting it back as Courtney goes through it also. And as we're closing up, Courtney, I know that there's something more that you want to share.
Yes, I think I'm gonna share a song I was feeling like maybe like channeling or picking up from the field.
Hmm.
But there is a song that came through when I was on my Mary Magdalene pilgrimage last year. And when I went into first I was in this castle and I was feeling all of these codes through the walls. Like I was feeling so many teachings in the castle. And this woman was a Cathar initiate. And then we went into this cave where Mary Magdalene would do initiations for the Cathars, and this song literally popped through. So I just feel like closing on that song. Does that
All
sound good?
right, let's do that. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
And I know the song, y'all. So it's what a treat.
Yeah, I just feel so much love and
Mhm.
appreciation for all of you, and feeling and invoking and calling forth Mary Magdalene and her blessings for all of you. I am opening in sweet surrender. In your love, I remember I am never severed from my sender. The light that is within me is my ember, and I rejoice in the choice to choose my life. And I rejoice in the choice to choose my light. And I rejoice in the choice to be moved by light. And I am opening in sweet surrender. In your love, I remember I am never severed from my sender. The light that is within me is my ember, and I rejoice in the choice to choose my life. And I rejoice in the choice to choose my light. And I rejoice in the choice to be moved by love. And I surrender. And I remember to surrender to love.
Beautiful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Y'all
thank you.
enjoy, receive, come back and listen, play it again, be with these invocations, these decrees, this mantras, this love that's emanating through this light that we know is Courtney right now. And ignite that light technology within yourself. So beautiful. Courtney, yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for being here. Such a blessing, honor, and joy. Thank you, John, for having me on.
Mhm. Yes.
Thank
An
you.
honor
Such
having
an
you on here.
honor.
It's wonderful to
So
share
grateful.
your expression with everybody. Thank you for doing what you're doing, for choosing to walk the path, for choosing to know and then surrendering to what else is possible, and for being an example for all of us that we may walk that path as well. And thank
Yes.
all of you for being on the call with us today. Thank you for opening your heart. Enjoy those of y'all who are going deeper recording. Enjoy your 4-week course. Enjoy the one-on-one sessions for those of you that are doing that. I'm excited for each and every one of you. And I'm excited for all of us that received today about how this is going to continue activating us again through decree, through song, through conversation, through illumination. So thank all of y'all. I love you guys. And I look
Blessings.
forward to seeing y'all on the next call. Bye, everyone.
Aloha.